So last week we did talk about backs, and I mentioned how between the rib cage and the pelvis really are just a bunch of muscles and of course viscera. So last week we talked about the importance of posture, let's face it, and then of course our muscles, if they're not strong and if they're not stretched, then sitting up, standing tall, all of that, blah, 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 blah. So just a quick anatomy lesson. And, you know, at one point in my life, I thought I would be a forensic scientist. And that is somebody who works with cadavers to discover what took them out. And remember, you're not your bodies anyway, so it's not like you disappear. Your energy changes, but that's a whole other topic. So basically, I just wanted to just quickly give you a little bit of information about your own anatomy. So there are four major, because we're going to work on our abdominal muscles today. And if you think of your core like a column that joins the lower and the upper, or the trunk of a tree, I even like that, because the trunk is between the roots and the branches. So if you think about yourself being rooted and grounded, which is a good way to go through life, especially when ill winds blow, whatever they are, and also still striving and taking the high road. So think about this area here, your hara. It is the sun, the battery of your being, Muladhara. And I'll get into some of the more esoteric things at the end when we're relaxing, but suffice to know, four major muscle groups. You've got your transverse abdominis, and they are the deepest. They create stability for your spine, and they hold your viscera in place. Things like your gallbladder, your pancreas, your stomach, your small and large intestine. These all need a place to be held. Otherwise, they're just hanging out and not feeling loved. And then you've got your rectus abdominis, and they're a little bit more to the surface. But what's interesting is that your obliques, and we've talked about these before, you have external obliques. They actually come up on the sides of your rectus abdominis, and they work for twisting. And we're going to do some things today that I want you to notice when your external obliques are working. If whatever side you're turning to, it's the opposite external oblique working. So even just twisting right now, and even if you were twisting right now, so why don't you just twist to your right, but feel your left oblique, feel your opposite oblique, feel it with your, feel it working? So it wraps around, you can feel that? So that's the internal obliques. They work the same side that you're turning. So if you turn to the opposite side, you're going to feel your opposite external oblique working. So now you guys understand your transverse abdominis, really deep, holding your viscera in place, and then your rectus abdominis is on top of that, more up and down for stability. Let me just see if I missed something about the rectus. Oh, movement between ribs and pelvis. So, you know, sitting up, standing, all that stuff. We need those to do, and you're going to work them today. Okay, so with those few words, let's just come on down onto our backs and just do a little bit of a warm-up before we start to mobilize these muscles. So come on to your back, and let's just bring our knees up towards our chest. Take your arms out to the side. And you've done this one, but this really warms things up. Take your inhale with your knees and feet and ankles together. Exhale, take them over to the left. Turn your head to the right. You can feel your obliques start to be activated. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, take the knees over to the other side. This is where you're working your opposite external obliques. And your transverse abdominis and your rectus abdominis. Inhale, come back to center. One more time, take both knees over to the left. Head can go to the right. Keep your arms out at shoulder height. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs. If you can, you're going to rock up to a seated position, or you can roll over onto your side and use your top arm to push yourself up. Now, let's come on over onto cat-cow, because this is the beginning of the way that we want to think about our abdominal muscles. So you are going to, on the cat, pull your belly in, okay? So hands underneath your shoulders. Now, if you have wrist issues, of course, you're going to come onto your knuckles, or you're going to take your hands a little further forward. That reduces some of the pressure on the wrist, and place your knees underneath your hips. On an exhale, drop your tailbone, pull your bellies in. Now, when we pull our bellies in, we're actually massaging that viscera that I talked about. And on an inhale, you're going to relax everything, hollow out the lower back, lift your tailbone, lengthen through your head and your neck. And exhale. And you're bringing your chin also in towards the notch of your neck as you pull your bellies in. These are called bandhas, locks. So Uddiyana Bandha is locking at the abs, Jalandhara at the throat. And then curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lift your tail, lengthen through your neck, and one more time, flatten the tops of your feet, coming into cat, tucking your chin, dropping your tail, pulling your bellies in. And last time, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lift your tails, lengthen through your neck, come into neutral, keep your toes curled under. Now, lift your knees off the floor. Feel the activation of your core, your trunk, if you will. So pull your bellies in. We're going to work them today, but remember, strong abs protect your lower back. It's not enough just to develop your back muscles. And this isn't about a six-pack either. My favorite six-pack is a box of muffins from Farm Boy. And that's probably part of my problem, but hey, I try to eat them only in moderation as a little treat once in a while. Okay, keep holding here, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. And that will do. Okay, walk your hands back towards your knees and then curl up and just hang for a moment. Remember, we're stretching out the lower back, letting your head hang. And then slowly roll up, keeping your knees soft. Keeping your chin tucked into your chest, letting your head be the last thing to come up. Okay, we're going to do just half sun salutations just for a general warm-up, and then we're going to go for it. Now, how's the temperature in here? We're hot. Okay, I have got it turned off, so. And I'll tell you, if anybody wants to, if you can find your way over to the windows, they do open. Okay, so half sun salutations. Your feet are about a fist width apart. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Now, part of what we're trying to do, not only give support to the spine, but remember, when we engage our thighs by lifting up on our kneecaps, notice what it does for your pelvis. So when our pelvis is either tilting forward and spilling out of the bowl, you can see what this does to your abdominal curve. It's, blah, 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 blah. And then if you were tilting back, which is unfortunately what happens a lot of times with people, they're just totally rounded. You want your pelvic bowl to be level, so nothing's spilling. This also protects the back and it engages your abdominal muscles. Lift up at your sternum. This one is the key to great posture. Inhale, shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll them back and clasp your fingers behind you just for a moment. And then release your arms. letting the crown of your head float up, feeling your thighs engaged. Relax your toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, turn the palms out. Exhale, swan dive your torso onto your bent thighs. You got to bend your knees a lot here. Try to come into a nice tuck position, fingertips tented on the floor. As you inhale, keep your belly glued to your thighs. Let the crown of your head float down as your tailbone and sits bones float up, and you stretch the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, and lengthen and stretch your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, move your shoulders and shoulder blades back, and then inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead. Turn the palms out, exhale, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, turn the palms out, exhale, swan dive onto your thighs, bend, bend, bend. Fingertips tented on the floor. Inhale, let the crown of your head float down, feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. Please give your head a shake here, make sure you're not holding any tension in your neck. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your bum, and then inhale, float the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Once again, inhale. And if bending over feels dizzying, stand in Padahastasana. Just keep your arms up. Exhale. Floating onto your thighs, fingertips tenting. Inhale. And just hang out here just for a moment with your hamstrings stretched as much as possible. Letting the crown of your head reach. In fact, as you inhale up the backs of your legs, exhale down your spine through the crown. Even if your spine isn't lengthening here, imagine it is. And if you think your hamstrings aren't releasing, they take a while, but they're letting go. They'll let go. Okay, bend your knees, drop your hips. Last time, inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up and overhead. Exhale, turn the palms out, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Okay, so take your block. We're going to do a couple of exercises here with the block. If you don't have a block at home, you can use a small cushion, nothing heavy. It should be light, and you're going to come down onto your backs. Now have a quick look at what we're going to do here. First exercise, you're going to press the block up against your knees, and you're going to extend one leg and bring it back. And then the other leg and bring it back. Okay? Simple, right? So if you've got a cushion or something small, you're pressing it against your knees. You are going to lift your head and shoulders off the floor, and you're going to look at the cushion, and you're going to extend the left leg out, draw it back. Other leg, extend it out and back. Left leg, back. Time this with your breath. Don't be in a hurry. Life goes fast enough. Slow it down. Pay attention to the muscles you're using. One more time on the right. Back, and lower your head and shoulders down onto the mat. Now, bring the soles of your feet down onto the floor. Place this block underneath your sacrum, and bring your arms to your side and just relax your belly for a moment. Really let go here. The block is under your sacrum. It's lengthwise, the longest side is out to the hips. Let me have a look at what people are doing here. So putting it on the medium height as opposed to the lowest height. Jen, medium height, Inta. The medium height would be this. If it feels okay. If it doesn't, then leave it on the low, but if it feels okay on the medium height, this was what I was thinking. But you're happy with the low. Happy is important. Okay. There's no doubt about it, we do have to make some exertion to create change, but we do not want to create major discomfort in what we're doing. All right, remove the block. Next up, we're going to take the block over our heads or the cushion if you have a cushion. And maybe you want to have a quick look. I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders. I'm going to draw my knees up towards my chest, and I'm going to try and bring the block to my shins. Or maybe just your knees. See what you can do here, okay? So lower your legs down, and you know what? If 2 legs are too much, do 1 leg at a time. Okay, block over your head, legs stretched out in front. Inhale, in place. Exhale, draw both knees or just 1 knee up. You can feel your core engaging and bring the block to your shins. So your knees are bent, Hill. Bend your knees, yep. Bend your knees, Sherry. Yep, okay, and extend the legs down in front. Now that was 2 legs, everybody did 2. If that's too much, just do 1 leg. Just bend 1 leg. But if you can, try for the 2 legs. A block overhead. Inhale as you stretch. Exhale as you draw your knees up. I do recommend you actually do both. I think it helps to balance the body if you can do both. And bring your legs straight out. And of course, somebody would want to be cutting their grass or doing something out there this morning. The way of the world. And then inhaling in place. Exhale, draw the knees up. Bring the block to your shins. And lower everything down. 2 more times, please, if you can. Inhale overhead, exhale, bringing the knees to your chest. You're looking at your block on your shins. Exhale, back overhead. 1 more inhale, exhale. Bringing the knees in, the blocks to the shin, and all the way back down. Take your block over to the side. Bring the soles of your feet onto your mat where your knees were, your hands beside your body with your palms facing down. Now, as you inhale, notice how your pelvis moves between your thighs and you're creating a little bit of space under your lower back, okay? And now, on an exhale, you're going to press your lower back down as your tailbone comes up towards your inner thighs. So really pressing the lower back into the floor, but what you're exerting here is your abdominal muscles. And then inhale, relax the abs, let the pelvis move towards the inner thigh. And exhale, let the tailbone come up, press the lower back into the floor. Any of you have done Pilates, you're familiar with this. Of course, neutral is somewhere in the middle. 1 more time. Inhale to relax the abdominal muscles, create a little bit of space under that lumbar curvature. And remember, most of our back problems, unless we're aware of an injury, has to do with muscle tightness, muscle weakness, muscle pulls, blah, 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 blah. And that's the good news because it heals quicker than the other incidents of bone maladjustment or damage. Okay, and last time, you're pressing the small of your back down and you're pulling your rib cage, your abs, right in. You can feel everything activated here. This is like a mini massage, and we're going to do a big massage in Uddiyana Bandha. in a few moments. Okay, so let that one go. Once again, bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs and rock up to a seated position. Okay, Navasana, boat pose. Probably the pose we don't like very much because it doesn't flatter us. Oh well, humility is a great virtue. Okay, so Navasana, remember, now we got choices again here. You're going to place your hands under the backs of your knees. And then you're going to roll back onto your sits bones. Find that sweet spot, that little bit of balance, So you're holding the backs of your knees. Now, what's important here is that we want to keep the spine long and shoulders back. So it helps if you look up with your gaze. And even if you're just here, that's just great. Because you can feel your abdominal muscles engaging here big time. Now, what about straightening your legs while you're holding on? How about that? Okay, release. Now, in the bent position, let's release our arms. Want to try and straighten your legs without sticking your tongue out? Okay, roll back. Wow. Woohoo! Yes. That's a biggie. But this is firing up our solar plexus. Like the sun is the battery of the earth, your abdominal region, your solar plexus, your manipura, which actually means, manipura means a bunch of shining gems. It's so important. I have so much that I want to say in this class about the importance of strengthening your abs, not just because they support your spine, they support your very being. Place your hands underneath the backs of your knees, and let's try this just one more time because it was so much fun. Right. Okay. So, again, find that sweet spot and be happy just to stay here. If that's all you want, that's all you should have today. Can you straighten your legs? Holding on? Your legs are together? Yeah. Okay. Bent knees again, and then release your hands. It gets easier all the time. You're finding that sweet spot. Now, how about we twist to the left, or whatever. Twist to the right, the left, the right, the left, the right. One more time to the left, back to the right. Ah, come on all the way down. Nice, everybody. Whoa, beautiful. Okay, why don't we take a happy baby pose? So in happy baby, you've got your knees bent, your ankles directly over your knees. Now, if you can't grab your ankles with your, if you can't grab your insteps from inside your legs with your ankles over your knees, start with your feet a little lower, and then do your best to bring the soles of your feet to face the ceiling. Your bent knees are just outside of your rib cage. Make sure they're not pressing into your chest. They're outside, so your feet are about 2 to 2.5 feet apart, and you're pulling down. You're pulling down. Great. So do some good deep breathing here. Nice. And releasing. Come on up to seated. And let's just spend a moment here pulling the flesh from underneath your sits bones. Bless you. Just a season of allergies once again. So while we're sitting here in Dandasana, and because you've done some work already on your back, I'm assuming that it even feels easier right now to sit up straight. Press through the heels of your feet so your toes are pointing up, hands are beside. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Lifting up out of your waist, And then reach forward halfway. Keep your spine nice and long. Nice and long. So now this compression on your abdominal muscles and viscera, of course, are helping to release toxins, waste, impurities out of this area. One more, reach forward, lengthen, lifting with your heart, lengthening. Now exhale and lower your hands to the furthest part of your feet, ankles, or legs. And feel the burn in your hamstrings. They're talking to you, they're trying to resist, but they're no match for your willpower. And of course, don't do too much and do not do too little. Everybody gets exactly what they need from yoga when they listen to their bodies, when they know they're making an exertion. They're not making mental notes about what they're doing the rest of the day. Be present, practice mindfully. Otherwise, it's just some form of gymnastics. So feel and listen to your body. One more inhalation. You might lift your hearts up a little bit to lengthen. It doesn't matter how low you go. And then exhale, lowering your torso whatever amount you can. Any amount. One more breath in to lengthen, reaching right through the crown of your head. You might be coming up a little bit, it's okay. Last exhalation, releasing. Holding on to whatever you can as leverage. And then walk your hands up your legs and take that Dandasana one more time and notice the release in your lower back. Letting go. Okay, come on over onto your tummies. All righty. We're going to do a half bow and half locust. And you're like, what the? Yeah, okay, here we go. So a locust pose, of course, is arms can be out front or they can be at the side. What's going to happen here is that I'm going to ask you to bend your left leg first, and you're going to try and take hold of that ankle. And if it cramps up, just release it, let it go, bring it back. So basically what I'm going to ask you to do, and we did this last week because all of this stretches and strengthens the core. So your forehead is on the floor. You've got a hold of your ankle. You're going to lift that left ankle off the floor and the thigh, and then you're going to reach with your right arm straight out in front. So there's your half bow, half locust. Reaching, stretching, and come on back down. That wasn't so bad, was it? You know, and laughter is great because it relaxes your muscles. Okay, so let's reach around to the other side. So you're reaching with your right hand to your right ankle. And then your left arm is straight out in front. And you're going to lift that right ankle, thigh off the floor, and lift the left arm. And you might notice a difference from one side. I am definitely tighter on the right side. But being right-handed, probably using my right leg first when I step. One more inhale, exhale. Awesome. Come all the way down. Now, fold your forearms just beneath your forehead. We're going to come into Makrasana, crocodile pose. This is a restorative. So you're laying your forehead on your bent forearms as a pillow with your diaphragm and your chest mostly off the floor. And just breathing, letting your breath catch up. Okay, and that will do. Now we're going to take our arms out to the side, shoulder height. And we're going to lift the left leg up and tip it over to the right side. So you're rolling over onto your right hip, tapping the floor with your left big toe, and back over and down. So releasing some of the muscles we've been working, especially the obliques. Lift the other leg up, bend it at the knee, roll over onto your left hip, and try to tap the floor with your right big toe. And back over and down. You're lifting now the left leg up, bending at the knee, rolling over onto your right hip, tap the floor, and back over and down. Other leg up, lifting up, bend at the knee, rolling over onto your left hip, tap the floor, and back over and down. Now, one more time, can you take hold of, and I just got a little cramp, but I'm release. I'm going to try again, and the cramp is happening again. We'll go for the third try slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. If you're cramping, slow it all down. Can you take hold of your left foot with your right hand and hold there, rolling over onto your right hip and thigh? And so into, you're doing the more advanced. If you try your other arm, how about your other arm? That's the other arm. So roll, so release your arm. Come on back over on your tummy. Take your arms out to the side. No, yeah, but I want you to do opposite leg. So this leg and that hand. There you go. You got it. You got it. And I know we didn't get the straps out for you guys. I don't know who's bringing what props. Anyway, it's okay if you're not holding. And release. And let's see what happens on the other side. Take your time. Roll over. Wow, you are so close, Sherry. Saw your little fingers. Linda's got her pants. Now you're doing the more advanced too, love. It should be your opposite arm. But I see, you're able to go, yeah, I got it. I'll make sure you get the belts out next time. Just do what you can. Breathe, you got it into. Actually, you did it again. The same side. Roll back on. Come back over. No, just keep your arms both, roll onto your tummy. Arms are out to the side. So if it's this leg, it's this arm. Got it? That leg, lift it up. No, this leg, this hand. Okay, now roll over onto your hip. Now roll over. There you go. Notice the difference? It's a little, I mean, you were doing the more advanced version, no problem. Okay, all right, so let's release that. And push up onto your knees. And let's take our modified child's pose with your knees as wide as your mat. Big toes touch. Your bum, so your knees as wide as your mat. Big toes touch. Take your buttocks back as far to your heels as you can. Reach your arms in front and release your forehead onto the mat, or prop your forehead up. the reason I had that door propped open is because I don't want to crack this. I'm just going to check this cord. I'm direct to the modem here, but I get the noise, but I just like, I just have to, sorry, I just have to, I got to find something. I'll find something better, but I can't. Okay, sorry about that. So feel the stretch, releasing. Be mindful of your knees, of course. Okay. Now, we're going to practice plank posture. But we're going to practice it on our forearms, all right? So in plank posture, your elbows should be below your shoulders. You can bring your hands together, elbows underneath the shoulders, and you need to engage your thigh, your core, of course. So pull that in a lot. And from here, we're going to try and lower the left hips down to the floor so they're like oblique dips. So you're right, you got it. Way to go, Gwen. So your bum is not in the air, if possible. Your bum's not in the air, you're in a plank position. Think of your body as a plank. Look over this way, and then you're lowering your hips to the other side. So this is just called plank dips, works the obliques. Obviously working shoulders. Engage your core. So you're going from side to side. And then come on all the way down. Bring your arms beside your body. Turn your head to the right. Let your shoulders melt. Big toes touch and heels splay out. Pretty demanding. But when you think of the work of your core, making it strong, we do have to work at it just a little bit. The other thing about working these muscles is that it's really just tapping into their memory. These muscles, once upon a time, were much stronger, and the memory stays in the muscles. So it's not like we're trying to create something we never had. We're just trying to help our muscles remember what it was that we had. All right, now, I know that some of you have shoulder or wrist issues, so this one will not be for you. And because of that, I will suggest that you come into dolphin pose. So I'm just going to show you the dolphin pose. If you have wrist or shoulder issues, then when you do dolphin pose, you interlock your fingers and you pull your baby finger under so you don't schmuck it, okay, because it gets crushed. So you're interlocking your fingers, you're pulling your baby finger under. Your head does not go on the floor. You're not going to do a headstand, but you're going to do a dolphin pose. So that's dolphin. Now, for those of us who have the strength, Vashisthasana, side planks. So you're coming up, kamsa. And then to work the obliques, we're going to take the top arm down. I'm just showing you. So the option was, if you have wrist issues, you can either take that, or shoulder, you either take your dolphin posture, or you can come back into plank, and you can also work your obliques by lifting one arm and bringing the arm under, all right? So a couple of options here, but for plank, you're coming into your push-up position, your plank position, and then you're gonna take all your weight onto your left arm. You can stack your feet, one on top of the other. You can separate them, or you can make the bicycle. And then you're going to reach your right arm up, and then you're going to reach under. And reach that right arm up and under. Reaching up one more time. Exhale under, and come back into your plank. Let's come on over to the other arm. Reaching up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, up. Exhale, reach the arm under. One more time, reach up. Exhale, under. Come on back into plank. And now once again, take your child's pose. Now, if you have knee issues, of course, you're not gonna have less than 90-degree angle. And then you can just keep your bum up in the air. If you're not having knee issues, again, take your knees as wide as your mat, or you can come into child pose proper. Lower your torso either between your thighs or on top of your thighs. If you need to make a pillow, fold your forearms, stack your fists, and let your forehead relax on something. The floor, your forearms, or your fists. And breathe into your side and your back ribs. So exerting pressure between the center of your eyes and your forehead activates Ajna chakra, your sixth chakra, your seat of intuition. This position helps to lengthen your spine. All right, and then come up onto your knees, curl your toes under, walk your hands back, roll back onto the soles of your feet, and slowly roll up, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, and let your head be the last thing to come up. Okay, you'll need your block up at the front of your mat. We're gonna do an open arm triangle pose. Again, this is to strengthen the core. So you probably want to turn sideways on your mat, so why doesn't everybody turn towards those doors? Spread your legs as wide as possible. So make your legs, at least 3 feet apart, if not more. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Now exhale over to the left, and as if you were holding a beach ball. You're not going to go too far. You're not bending too much to the sideways. Reaching, feel your core activating. You're holding a beach ball. Some of you guys got really big beach balls. Very nice. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, other side. So this is an example whereby if you want to feel you're stretching to the right, but it's your left obliques that are working. Inhale, come back to center. One more time, over to the left to work the right obliques. Now press into the outsides of your feet so that you're lifting up in your arches. And then inhale back to center. Nice, everyone. And exhale, other side. Inhale back to center, lower your arms, and bring your legs back together. So we're going to transition from warrior 1 to warrior 3. And warrior 3 is a balanced posture. I'm just going to show you. I know you all know what warrior 1 is. Warrior 3 is a balanced posture whereby the arms can be forward, sideways, or behind you. Now, some of you may actually want to maybe move towards a wall for this if you feel nervous, because your block isn't really going to help a lot, but it is there if you need to put your hands down. Okay, so coming up to the fronts of your mats, let's give it a whirl. Step your right foot back 1 leg length. Make sure your front foot's 90 degrees, and because we want to orientate our torso towards the front of our mats, take your feet over to the right hand, take your right foot over to the right. So you've got a little bit of space and it's easy for you to turn your hips forward. And then bend your front knee. Keep your shoulders directly above your hips. Inhale and sweep the arms up. Keep the shoulders down. Keep your chest lifted without your rib cage popping out. And then take your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together, look up, and then exhale, forward fold, coming down into humble warriors. Lower your torso inside of that front bent knee. And release your fingertips to the floor and attempt to straighten your front leg with your back leg straightened. Now, if you can't do that, bend your back leg, but try to straighten your front leg. And then bend your front knee one more time and inhale, sweep the arms up, coming back into warrior one. Okay, take your time for balance postures. There's no hurry. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. Transfer your weight onto your front leg. Focus your gaze on something that's not moving. Lift your back leg off the floor. Arms can be front. Might be easier at the side or towards the back. Your eyes would be looking down at the floor. Reaching and stretching, one more inhalation. Exhale, step the leg back. Come back into warrior one. And lower your arms and bring your legs together. Let's try the other side. Whoops. So, stepping the left leg back, one leg length. And again, widen your stance so that your left and right foot have space between them. So you've got space between it. Just makes it a lot easier for you to orientate your hips, your chest, and your shoulders to the front of your mat. Nice. Bend your front knee. Keep your torso straight up and down. Inhale. Sweep the arms up. Now notice what's going on in your lower back. If you feel as if you're torquing it, then lift up and lengthen it. So if you're feeling a torque in here, probably because you might be collapsing. Looking up with your gaze, lifting up. Also too, remember, it's strong abs. Activating your abs protects your lower back. It's really about your muscles most of the time. Take your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, slowly. Fold from your hips, the tops of your legs. Bring your arms up. And lower your torso between and beside your front bent leg. Let your head hang. Release your arms. Tent your fingertips on the floor. On an inhale, can you straighten that front leg? Parsvottanasana, front angle bend. If you can't, you bend your back leg. Releasing tight hamstrings helps us sit up straighter, walk taller, have more freedom in the body. Bend your front leg once again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Come on back up into warrior one. Okay, are you ready for warrior three? You're going to come up onto the ball of your back foot. You're going to transfer your weight onto your front leg. Take your time. Bring your gaze down to the floor. This will help steady your posture. Lift your back leg off the floor. Stretch your arms out in front or out to the side like an airplane. The foot doesn't have to be flexed or pointed of the leg in the air. Just breathe. reaching, stretching, lengthening, lovely. And now step your back foot down, come back into warrior one, and then turn sideways on your mats. Turn your arms out to the side, doesn't matter, you can face whatever way. It's all good. You'll be looking at somebody's nice bum. Okay, now fold from your hips halfway. Bring your fingertips down to the floor, tented in front of you. I just want to stretch out what we just worked. So you're going to lunge over towards the left side, bringing bum close to hip, stretching, stretching, stretching. Inhale, up and over to the other side. Back into the center. Tense your fingers down below your face. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching, stretching, and looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reach up, stretch up, look up. Exhale, float it down. Walk your feet in towards one another. Let your heads hang and slowly roll up. Okay, we're going to do a couple more postures. Utkatasana, chair pose. So again, face the front of your mats. So in Utkatasana, your big toes are closer together because the outsides of your feet are parallel with the outsides of your mat. But they're not exactly together, but they're pretty close together, so it's less than a fist width. And then as if you were sitting in a chair, take your bum back. Now, you should be able to see your toes in front of your knees. Okay? So look at your toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Sit as much as you can. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, float your arms down. All right, take your left foot forward, your right leg back, come on down onto your knees. Bring your right elbow outside of your left knee. Open the palm so it's facing up towards the ceiling. Take the other hand palm, place it on top so you're in a sideways prayer. And now, again, focus your gaze, look down at the floor in front of you, and if you can, lift that back knee off the floor and then twist your torso by pressing that bottom elbow into your left knee, twisting your torso, stretching out the internal, external obliques. Press through the heel of your back foot, that is your anchor. Nice. Bring your fingertips to the floor in front of your front foot. Bring your back foot forward and let's come into Utkatasana once again, chair pose. So sit down on the invisible chair, lift the arms up. Now if it's too much for have your arms and shoulders, if it bothers your arms, just keep your arms at shoulder height. But if not, look down, make sure you can see your big toes. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands in prayer to your heart center. Let's do the other side. Step your left leg back and drop the knee to the mat. So whatever side you did before, do the other one. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and open your palm. Other hand on top. Look down at the floor in front of you and lift your back knee off the floor and press through that back heel. Press through the heel and then twist your torso as much as you are able. So there's lots more going on here than just stretching your obliques. Twisting positions are brilliant for releasing toxins, waste, and impurities from the digestive area. We are going to get into the microbiome and the vagus nerve in the next couple of weeks. These are big deals. Okay, Fingertips to the floor in front of your front foot. Bring the other foot forward. Last chair pose, Utkatasana. This is the way I brush my teeth because my sink is so darn low. This is it. It's just a habit. And you know what? If you want to work some of your muscles, you can, instead of bending over like this, and lower your hands down. You know, we didn't get to Uddiyana Bandha, and I don't think, yes, we do. We're going to make time. Okay, kids. I'm relentless, huh? All right, Uddiyana Bandha. You've done it before, but it's just so great. You're waiting for dinner, and you're thinking, wow, I don't know about my digestion. It's not been pretty lately. Okay, so in Uddiyana Bandha, Bandha means lock. You're going to place your hands on your thighs, okay? And then lower your sits bones, bend your knees, okay? You're going to exhale all the air out. Exhale it all out. You have to exhale all the air out, even a false exhalation. And then you're going to pull your abdominal muscles up and under the rib cage. Your diaphragm and your abdominal muscles are coming, just, you don't have to know for sure, but that's what you're doing. You're pulling your abs and your diaphragm up under your rib cage. All the air has to be out. When you're ready, I can't really talk and do this at the same time, but when you're ready, you stand up and you inhale. So if you have any digestive issues or you want to increase your digestive capacity, because even though your mother said you are what you eat, I'm telling you, you are what you digest. And if you have lousy digestion, you're not getting what you could be out of your food. So we'll leave it at that. Bring yourself down onto your mats. And whatever you may need to do to just release your lower back, it may be drawing one knee in and just taking it over to one side, over to the opposite side. Maybe it's bringing both knees in and it's, making circles on your back, or just rocking from side to side. Pick whatever it is you need to do for the next 30 seconds. And then bring your body into flat out and relaxing into Savasana. Arms are beside your body. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. Lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them underneath your heart. Tilt your chin towards the notch in your throat. Let your toes splay out to the side. Let your bodies be soft and heavy. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax your jaw and let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. So as I mentioned, Manipura, which means filled with shining gems, this solar plexus is like the sun. It is the center of our physical and biological energy that sustains our existence. This area we worked on, we talked about abdominal muscles, that's the physical. I'm now addressing the esoteric. There are 72,000 nadis, or energy currents, originating at this hub, at the solar plexus, the hara they call it. Any block within this center, and this block can be physical, it can be mental, it can be emotional. Any block in this area is going to affect your entire being. And a block or malfunctioning of energy anywhere else in the body can be removed and it can be purified by working on this area. Now there are breathing techniques, we're going to get into some of those too. But suffice to say, you have strengthened the battery of your being today, your solar plexus. You may feel a little depleted. You need to drink water. And of course, you'll eat some food later. But this is such an important opportunity to feel stronger in the center of your YOU universe. Here's a little quote from Khalil Gibran, who wrote The Prophet. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his own twin brother. Feel free to stay in Savasana as long as you need, but when you're ready, roll over onto your sides, and then you can stay there for a moment, nurturing yourself, respecting yourself, listening to yourself, and then use your top arm when you're ready to press yourself back up to a seated position. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.